Okay, hi guys. So just now the video has stopped at the unequal width. So I'll continue. So I will cover that later. So for now we will just move on with the histogram. How we're gonna draw a histogram. Okay. So maybe I'll just go through an example from the textbook. I'll do question number 1. So first step to do question number 1, you have to do what? You have to open your scale first. Okay. So I'm just gonna open my scale very quickly. Yeah. All right. So we draw the scale. So up is if you got graph paper, you can do in graph paper. You don't have graph paper, just do A4 paper. Freehand scale will do. Okay, just a rough estimation will do. So if you see here, the maximum value we have 12. Okay, this is an error. It cannot, the frequency cannot be negative. Frequency must be positive. So I assume that's positive too there. Okay, so we have the highest value 12, lowest value 2. So we can open our scale in terms of 2, and you have to take note that your y-axis always has to be frequency. Okay, and your x-axis has to be your class. Okay, this is compulsory. You cannot change the axis. Remember, x-axis only, I mean y-axis always has to be frequency, and then your x-axis has to be the class. Okay, so with that note, now I'm just gonna put the thing here. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, so done. And then now for the class, we can put the class with here. Okay, so how do we actually do the class? Usually what we do, we put here 0 and we break out a bit. I'll explain to you later why I do the breakout. I think some of you might know already lah by now. Okay, why we put the breakout, this and that all, huh? But let me just finish this off first. 160 and then 170. Okay, so why I put a breakout? Because if you notice, the scale here is always fixed, 10, 10, 10, 10. But before that, it's straight away a leap. Okay, I jump straight. That means from 0, I straight jump to 120. So to avoid this kind of problem, we put the breakout to show that we skip some value to make sure we can draw the best graph that we can draw. Okay, so now you see 120 to 130 is 8, right? So 120 to 120 have to be 8. So I'll go here, go to 8, then I join them up. Okay, you have to take note how I'm going to join up. I told you already, histogram has no gap. So now for 130 to 140 is how much? 12. So my 12 will be here. So you continue from here. Okay, you cannot do like, because bar chart has a gap. Okay, but histogram doesn't have a gap. Okay, so then 140 to 150 is 10. So you drop 1. Okay, then you join them. Okay, you drop 1, then you join them. And then from 150 to 160 is 7. So roughly estimating somewhere around here. Okay, 7 should be here. And then the last one, 160 to 170, which is 2. So that should be the last one here, 2. Okay, so this is 2. So then there you go. That's how you draw a bar chart. Okay, so the important thing we will see in bar chart means, that's why I wanted to talk to you about a bar chart. You must know that the y-axis has to be your frequency, the x-axis has to be your class, and then it must be a continuous. Okay, so you have to do this kind of breakout. Okay, so you might obviously be asking, sir, can I do for this or not? Of course, frequency won't be too high lah. Frequency usually will be lie maximum around 30, 20. Okay, let's say no choice, then you do. But for class size, always we'll do the breakout. Okay, this breakout means we are skipping values. It's understandable and it's acceptable in your exam as well. Okay, so this exercise all, I think Miss Marisa already prepared a worksheet, so you do that later. That's a fixed class. Okay, I repeat again, if you notice here, the class size is the same. So just now, like I showed in the video, what if the class size is not the same? So when the class size is not the same, there's few important things you need to know. Okay, so how do you decide whether you need to do that or not? Okay, what I mean do that or not, first, when you draw a histogram, very important thing. Okay, in your exam, they won't tell you, guys, they won't tell you that, hey, this is not a same class width, so you have to figure out how to do. They won't tell you. They'll just give you this chart, this table. They give you the table, then they ask you to come up with yourself. So you have to test, you have to check, see, hey, whether the class size is same or not. Okay, so what will happen now? Okay, I will pick one A because I want to draw it. Okay, so for 1A, first step you must check is the class width. Okay, you have to check whether they are same or not. Okay, if they are same, you can directly draw your histogram. If not same, then you have to find the frequency density. Okay, this is something that you need to do. Okay, So how do we actually find the frequency density? So that's the part I'm going to cover, okay? So I'm telling you already the step. First step, you need to determine whether if the class width is same or not. If the same, then you can draw the histogram like 10, 10, 10, 10 or 2, 2, 2, 2. If not same, then you have to do frequency. So let's test number 1 AM. You see this is 2, this is 2, this is 3, and then suddenly shoot up to 3, and then shoot up to 3, and then go to 4 already. Okay, so it was initially I calculated wrong, but now I calculated correct already. Okay, so you see it was start from 2, it go to 3, it go to 4, so it's not the same distribution. So when not same distribution, you must do the what we call a class frequency density. So how do we count the frequency density? If you notice, your textbook already give you the formula. Frequency density is frequency of class interval divided by class width. So I'm just going to cover this for you very now. Okay, so what we do, we draw this table first. Okay, so 8 to 10, okay, 10 to 12, 12 to 15, 15 to 17, 17 to 20, 20 to 24. Okay, now I'm going to write the frequency here. 5, this is 5, 13, 18, 4, 3, 6. Okay, class frequency, and I want to calculate the frequency density. Okay, so to find the frequency density, you need to find one thing extra. You must find the class width. Okay, so to find a class width, 8 to 10, it's 2, it's 2, it's 3, 3, 3, and 4. Okay, so I'm going to write in a different color. To find frequency density, okay, the formula to find frequency density is frequency of class interval with width. So you need to take your frequency divide with your class width. Okay, you can see the formula here, right? To find FD, it's F divided by class width here. Okay, so you can see an example here. They will calculate the class width first, and then they take this divide by this. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing here, step by step instruction for you. 5 divided by 2 is how much? 2.5. 13 divided by 2 is how much? 6.5. 18 divided by 3 is 6. 4 divided by 3 is 4 over 3. You have to put in decimal. No means later you want to draw the graph, will be hard. Okay, so we just take 1.3. Then 3 over 3 is 1. And then 6 over 4. 6 over 4 is 3 over 2, which is 1.5. Okay, just to confirm it. So now you got your class, what we call that, the frequency density ready. Okay, now that you got a frequency density ready, you can easily actually draw your graph out. So how do we draw the graph out? First, we need to determine our scale. We need to know who is the y-axis, the x-axis, and so on and forth. Okay, so I'll just put this here, okay, so that you can see direct comparison what is happening here. So many paper, but one paper also won't come out. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to draw now. So to draw, like I mentioned earlier, okay, you need to have an axis to draw a graph. Okay, so y-axis got to be drawn first. Okay, so I already draw. Now let's see, do I have any other color besides this common color? No, I don't have actually any common color. Oh yeah, I have a purple color. Okay, so if like I said initially, your y-axis is always your frequency, x-axis is your class. Okay, so this is class. Okay, but instead of using frequency, we will be using frequency density here. Okay, I repeat, instead of going class, we will be using frequency density. Reason why we use frequency density, because our class width is not the same. Okay, take note of this. When your class width not same, you have to use frequency density. So what is our frequency density here? Let's see. Our frequency density, I think we can put this in terms of 1 and 2 no problem, because it's not really that huge. So 3, 4, scale is up to you. Don't later ask me, sir, can I do this scale, that scale, all up to you. Okay, no problem. So I already label. Now I want to label here. So like I said, you do the breakout better. Do breakout. Yeah, do. If you don't do breakout, it'll be hard to draw this kind of thing. Okay, of course, okay. I'll do breakout. I'll start with. I'll do in terms of increment of. We do breakout okay. So start with 8, 10, 12, 15, 17, 20, 24. Okay, this scale you have to follow in terms of increment. I know what you'll be telling you. Sir, 8, 10, 12, next should be 14, 16, 18. Why you suddenly jump? That's why I say, because the class width is not the same. Okay, so you must follow increment. If you do in your graph paper, you can see. You see, for example, they draw here. You notice now they put to scale, but when they draw, you see one is small, one is big, one is this, and that. This is how it should be look like. Okay, so I didn't do that because I don't have a graph paper with me at this point of time. But if you have, you do it. Okay, so now alamak, where's the tape, the thing lah. Okay, so it should be look a bit bigger, a bit smaller, something like that. Okay, maybe I don't teach you this way lah. I scared you get confused. I draw on proper fast. Okay, yeah, later you confuse and then you ask me. It's not easy for me to teach on the Zoom, you know. Okay, FD class breakout 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, marker pen run already. Okay, let's take another color. So I do the breakout here a bit. So I start with 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, not enough space already, 22, 24. Okay, I have to extend a bit. Okay, so I do like how you would do. Okay, so we put the scale already. Now we're going to draw this out. Okay, so from 8 to 10, my frequency density is 2.5. So 2.5 I can assume somewhere here. Okay, so I'm just going to draw. So 8 to 10, 8 to 10 no problem lah, because we're following. Okay, now next one, 10 to 12, our frequency density is 6.5. So 6.5 here. Okay, so we draw. Okay, we draw here. Done. Now 12 to 15, frequency density is 6. So 12 to 15 should be somewhere middle here. Okay, so that's how we do it. So now you'll see the width will become a bit longer. Okay, so this is how you should draw actually. Okay, ignore the previous one. Okay, a bit longer. And then the next one is 15 to 17, which is 1.3. So 1.3 should be a 15 to 17. Okay, 15 to 17, correct lah. 15 to 17. Okay. Oh, it's class width is 2 already actually. So I did mistake here already. Okay, its class width is 2. Okay. So sorry, I didn't count properly just now. So 4 divided by 2. So this should be 2. Okay, I just spot the problem. Okay, so just adjust a bit lah. So here should be 2. As long you know how to draw, that's fine already. Okay, so class width is 2 here, and then 17 to 20, the 17 to 20 class frequency density is 1. So 17 to 20. Okay, so it's 1, and then 4 here is for what we call 1.5. Okay, 20 to 24. So 1.5. Then I have to really do something here. Let me see. Okay, so this one I have to extend a bit. Sorry, okay. So you can see one long, one short, one long, one short. So this is how you're supposed to do when a histogram has an unequal width. Okay, so to have an unequal width, what you need to do, you have to find frequency density first. Okay, see, you know why I do this calculation? I'm doing live teaching, so there is no script. Okay, so bear with me. I'm so sorry. Okay, so this should be the one last. So because it's 2, so you should follow 2. So when class width is not same, you need to find frequency density. That means this table you need to translate this. You must. Okay, this is part of the working. You must show this working. You must show you put like this. You calculating the class width. You calculating the frequency density. All this must be shown. Okay, of course you don't need to go right here lah. 5 divided by 2 what no need. But this table come up, you will get a full mark. Okay, so you must illustrate this table. Then you must remember we only will draw frequency density and class. Okay, the rest we don't care. And then you draw the histogram with unequal width, and then that's it. You are good to go. Okay, so if you still have any question, you can come and ask. Okay, but I will just explain a bit more. Okay, about this class width and so and forth. Okay, so where was I? Here. Okay, wait. Okay, so there's be few example put in the Zoom. If you can see all this, you see the class width is not same. So first step, what do you do, guys? Sorry, I zoom out a bit. So you can see this one, all the class width is not the same. So what do you do? First step, you find or translate this to the table. Once translate to the table, find one column for class width, then find the class density. I mean frequency density. Then you plot. Okay. Remember, class width not same. You must plot frequency density against the class width. What if the class width same? Class width same. You just plot the frequency. That's enough. Okay. So I don't want to drag the video too long. Okay, thank you, and then see you for the next session. Okay, bye bye. Come back to the Zoom, please.